The technology that will have the greatest impact in the next few decades has arrived. It's the underlying technology of digital currencies like Bitcoin, called the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology, put simply, is a type of database or ledger that stores records of value and transactions across multiple supercomputers. However, it is more than just a database. Normally, for every transaction that is executed in any system, either banking system, health system, and so forth, the information is stored in the database, and there is a need for a third party when retrieving the information. People rely on third parties like banks, governments to authorize the transactions before they can use their assets. One of the drawbacks of this system people are used to is that unless these third parties allow or permit a transaction, the individual will not be able to do anything or have access to the money in a bank or to any information which he or she placed on the protection of an authority. A whole lot of trust is placed on banks, governments, and credit and debit card companies to make sure that their money is safe. These third parties have rules and regulations that can limit an individual's transactions and value. For instance, there's a limit to how much one can withdraw from the ATM per day. There's a limit to transaction one can do in a day in his or her account. There's also a limit to the amount of funds one is allowed to manage per type of account and so forth. If perchance one breaches some of these limits, it raises some red flags and probably some consequences. Over time, different systems accumulate an individual's data and stores them in a database where they can easily retrieve this information if need be. Imagine if you borrowed a book from a library and you fail to return it in due time. The central database will provide the information needed to locate the individual. Due to third parties involved in authenticating transactions take longer time, hours, days, or weeks to move from point A to point B, especially if it is from one country to another. Generally, there's a trustless system that is run so that people will believe that their information and assets are safe. People have learned to rely on these systems instead of on each other, and these systems have limitations to how far they can go. Some financial institutions have failed their clients, and the clients couldn't do anything about it. Either the banks got shut down or experienced a robbery or put a limitation on how much one can have access to, or even freeze people's accounts that they can't access their funds when they want to. Whether people like it or not, they do not trust these systems completely, but they have to live with as much freedom they can access within the rules and regulation. Different people live in different countries around where there is a lot of trust issues with management and disbursement of funds. Banks can fold with people's money stock, but blockchain technology gives you the option of being in charge of your security and your funds. Generally, countries around the world run a centralized system whereby people trust the government to protect their funds and assets, but the centralized nature makes it vulnerable and people could lose their hard-earned money. Blockchain technology allows people to transact between each other without a third party or any government putting a limitation or regulation on what is viable for transaction. This reduces the window period between transactions. Blockchain technology is the underlying technology of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is a digital currency used as a legal tender for transactions. Blockchain technology can be used to record, transfer, and store value. The blockchain technology has the capacity to disrupt every other system and change the usual way they run to a more functional system. The blockchain-based system can be used across a wide range of industries, including social networks, voting, cloud storage, decentralized applications, digital identities, and so forth. Blockchain technology offers endless opportunities for all and sundry, including countries and governments. Apart from Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies have emerged and still emerging. These cryptocurrencies have multiple intrinsic abilities. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is a central method of payment, and it is built to be used for only payments. Blockchain technology is a decentralized database or ledger whereby everyone can see what every other person is doing through a unique address. There is no central system that maintains the database. The functionality of the database is managed and run by everybody. Anyone can acquire and store value without a central institution or a third party to give permission. Blockchain technology has ways that will make the organizations and users of things transparent, democratic, decentralized, efficient, and secure. The blockchain technology is not controlled by anyone, not the government or any financial institution. It's an open source technology in which everyone who is a user of the network makes a decision on it. Hence, the blockchain is open for everyone to use. The history of blockchain can be traced to cryptography, which dates back to thousands of years ago. Cryptography is the underlying foundation of the blockchain. In the ancient times, Caesar cipher was a form of cryptography used by Julius Caesar to send sensitive information in a written communication.